Hi there, I'm Rachel Skoltok. Welcome. I'm just about to start my day. I'm about to just hop out and do a little bit of yoga and walking before I come back in and get on with my healing sessions for the day. I just wanted to mention that the Energy Skills for Empaths program, it begins on October 22nd, which is about 5 days away. So if you are keen, if you're interested, if it's niggling at you, if you feel like this is something that could help you, please get in touch. We can talk about if it's right for you, what it is exactly that you'll get out of it, if it fits with your goals and intentions, and also payment plan or whatever you need in order to get there. Which brings me to a subject which is really the elephant in the room sometimes when it comes to healers, coaches, psychic readers, is about this question that has come up again and again over the 15 years that I've been working in this business is, should you be charging for your services? So I had a message yesterday, and it's not something that I'm a stranger to. I've had them before, where this lady was saying that it's wrong to charge for spiritual courses, that my course was too expensive, that if it's a spiritual gift that I'm bringing through that God has given me, then I should be giving it away for nothing. And I thought, rather than write back to her, which I'm not going to do, because I don't think the actual agenda is right. I think, honestly, if you can see that in this day and age, we're running businesses, and from a business point of view, you have so much to maintain. And the fact is that this information isn't just something that has just arrived, out of the blue. It's not just a meditation. This course that I'm doing is over 15 hours of live training. And what goes into that, what goes with that is huge. So I thought I would just let you know what goes in. So first of all, I did the free masterclass a week and a bit ago. And that was completely free. And all of the information that I gave in it was genuine information. I was teaching from the heart. I didn't do it with just giving you little tiny bits and saying, if you want to learn the whole thing, you have to. Yeah, I gave away a lot of information, which helped a lot of people. In fact, over 400 people signed up for that. And almost all of those people have seen that program. Now, what went into that wasn't just the hour and a half that I taught for you. I had to do advertising. I had to have my website, special pages on my website for people to sign in, the automated stuff to send the links out. That all has to be paid for. I put in at least 12 hours of my own work before that, preparing for that workshop, including the design, creating the content, and just getting ready for it. Speaking to people about it, advertising it on Facebook, Instagram, through my newsletter. That's a lot of work. The cost for the graphics alone was around $475. Having a webinar that was big enough to hold 400 people cost me $196 just for that night. And the mail out, the sending out the files, downloading it, having the website lady do work for me, it took a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of costs. So probably about $800. That's a conservative guess and that's money going out, not my hours, in just putting on that free masterclass, out of which a very, very small portion of people contacted me and said they would like to do my course. So can you imagine, if it cost me that much to put on one free masterclass, how much it costs then to put on a 6-week program with 6 90-minute teaching sessions via Zoom, a Facebook page, 4 1-hour healing sessions, live also, 1 60-minute Q&A session. You also get $3,400 worth of live digital course. It's a digital, it's not live. A course that I've already put on, which is now in digital and recorded, which is all being put onto a website right now for somebody to access through passwords, which costs just putting it up on the website is costing me a few $100s. So it's not that when you charge for your services that you, whether you're a coach, whether you're a healer, whether you're a reader, whether you're a naturopath, whether you're an artist, when you're charging for your services, you aren't just charging for what you are giving in that moment. It's not just show up and present. There's so much work that goes into these things. The other thing that you have to think about is that the energy that goes into all of that is focused on a transformation for the people that are coming to it. So if you're coming to one of my workshops, you're getting focused content that isn't just based on one spiritual principle. It's based on the individual. That's why I like to keep my groups small. You get lots of individual encouragement and support based on what it is that you want. So the program itself is quite intensive live, but when you look at all the background that goes into that, there is so much work that goes into this. And so as human beings at this time on earth, we're all living in an economy. That's part of what it is. And part of that economy is that we have to pay our bills, we have to put fuel in the car, we have to pay for the things like the lighting for this video and the internet and all of these other things in order to create the business. And so that means that we've got the stage, if you like, in order to pass on the beautiful content that you need. And what it comes down to in the end is some people are going to be attracted exactly to the program. Like this energy skills program is for people who are empathically sensitive. They know that they can sense energy, they feel energy. They've perhaps become run down because of draining relationships, because they haven't known how to properly protect their energy, because they give all of their positive energy away and they don't know how to give without draining themselves. And then they take on all of the pain of everyone else and they don't know how to get rid of that. So we're teaching skills, because once you clean up your energy, and this has happened for me and it's happened for everyone that I've worked with in my programs, is when you start cleaning up your energy, you start cleaning up your consciousness, the stuff, the trauma, the drama, the beliefs that don't serve you, like the beliefs I shouldn't be charging for my services. How many people I've come across in the last few years where they're gifted healers, gifted coaches, they're so good, and they've got the wisdom, they've got everything they need. Maybe they want to do a little bit more training, but that's fine. But they haven't got the confidence and the confidence really to get out there and do it. And then if they do it, they charge $50, $60, $80 because they're afraid to ask for money for their services. Now, that's fine if you're looking at it from the perspective of, well, I don't have much money and I want to go to someone who doesn't cost very much. But in that perspective, if you keep yourself in that belief of poverty, you've got to recognize that you're then affirming scarcity. You're getting yourself stuck in scarcity. Now, if you've got a rich husband or wife or a stipend or an inheritance or some other blessing like that, and you say, you know what, I want to be a healer, but I want to do it as a hobby and I want to share my services because my business is taken care of. I can pay my bills. I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about mortgage. I don't have to worry about how I'm going to feed myself, my children, or pay all the bills. I'm just going to do this as a gift to the universe. Then that is fine. That's your purpose. That's your individual thing to do. But you also still have to think about the energy exchange. There has to be an exchange of energy when you're putting your services out there, no matter what it is, whether you're putting food on the table for people or petrol into people's tanks, you're expending energy. And that is the way the universe is set up. We've been given our gifts in order so that we're not draining other people. We're being given our gifts, plumbers, artists, healers, in order for us to become a channel of abundance. And that's the way it works. You know, cleaning up your energy, cleaning up your consciousness, recognizing yourself as worthy, valuing yourself and your gifts, valuing that the universe is honoring you and not making money, abundance, into a bad thing, into a dirty thing, into a negative thing, is healing for everything. You've got to heal that by looking at it as a negative perspective. You know, if you say that's wrong and that is bad, you're just projecting fear and scarcity onto something which is actually good, which is actually a blessing. And my vision is that when you lift people up to that place where they recognize themselves as confident, worthy, able to receive, good enough to create their own level of abundance through their own gifts, through their own changing their mindset, clearing out those toxic beliefs that sabotage them and keep them stuck, clearing out the sabotaging way their energy is behaving, because your energy moves according to your thoughts, then everybody will understand that there is enough for everyone and that there is no such thing as too little or too much. It's all about, we're all in this beautiful flow of divine abundance, and we're not here to criticize and judge each other. We're not here to put each other down. If I go to the supermarket and I'm trying to choose some smoked salmon and I decide to go for the cheaper brand or the more expensive brand, that's up to me. That's between me and the divine. And then there'll be someone else that comes in and gets a completely different brand based on what their thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and desires are. And we have no right to say that should be X amount, or it should be all free for everybody. And then we haven't got a problem. You know, we've got to remember that abundance is our consciousness, and it is as simple as that. Now, of course, there's people who maybe can't work because they're sick, or they're looking after an elderly or ill family member, and they can't, you know, they get something from the government, or they get a carer's pension, and they can't work, so they can't sort of create a different salary. But that doesn't mean that the universe isn't going to bring more abundance to you. You've got to look at that, and how can that happen, and what is the universe teaching me at this time? You know, I spent a lot of years charging $90 for my sessions that were 90 minutes long. And so that meant I had to see at least 12, 15 people a week so that I could afford to just pay my rent and basic bills. And that didn't always happen. Sometimes I only got 5 people a week, or 6, and sometimes I got 12, sometimes I got 20. And at that point, there were still people that told me that my prices were too expensive. So I know that no matter what we're doing out here in the world, and it's not about what other people think, because there'll always be a critic and there'll always be your greatest fans cheering you on. What's important is that you're in integrity with yourself, integrity with the divine, and that you're giving the best that you can give. And when you are meant to do something and you lift yourself out of that toxic vibration of there's not enough, it's not fair, into believing in yourself and believing that you can lean on the divine, everything starts to expand and change. Everything does. It's just about your vision for yourself and what you're doing about it, really. We can do vision boards and pray and do our meditations, and that's super important. It's an important ingredient. You can't make omelette without eggs, right? But we've also got to take action. And if we don't take action in saying, okay, universe, I'm ready. I'm here to make the changes. I'm here to do something different. I need to look at myself and do what needs to be done here so that out here can change for me. And each of us does that at a point, usually when we've been so stuck for so long, or you're just so frustrated, you're sick of going around in circles, you're fed up of the same old, you're fed up of being exhausted and drained and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you can't get anywhere. And as soon as you get to that point where you're like, oh, I'm done. I am done with this. What have I got to change? What have I got to do? That's when the teacher appears. The right thing happens. The course opens up. The book falls off the shelf. Someone comes into your life that can help you. And when that happens, you are aligned, and you've got to trust, because you get the goosebumps, you get that feeling like this person can help me. You get the feeling and you trust it. It's different than when we're just in the dark, groping around, going, oh, anything, just give me a fix of something. It's when you get that moment when you go, yes, I know this is right for me. And that's when you take the risk. That's when you push yourself forward. And of course, it's uncomfortable. Of course, it's challenging. Of course, it triggers you, because the ego wants to keep you stuck in the old way. So I'm not here to justify anything at all. What I ask for my services and my courses is my business. And people who have worked with me know the massive transformation that happens when you work with me. And I love that part. I love it. But I also love, and I'm deeply passionate about, guiding you, facilitating you through that process, and recognizing when you're being triggered, when your ego is trying to pull you back, when self-doubt is coming up, and just helping you to move forward with that. And that is what this program is all about. I've got beautiful women who have at some stage gone to that place of like, I can't do this anymore, I can't stay stuck, and are now ready to go to the next level. And with that comes lots of healing. So I'm doing four 1-hour group healing sessions, which are going to be pretty intensive, but we're clearing away, we're peeling away those onion layers of doubt, lack of belief, the old witch wounds, the past life stuff where you've carried this old karma of I'm not allowed to receive. I'm not allowing myself to have the energy in my body that I need. We're working through activating divine love. So many people, they're talking to the angels, they're praying, they're doing all that stuff, but they're not receiving the energy. So that you're asking for the money, you're asking for the love, you're asking for the clients, you're asking for the life purpose to find what it is you're looking for, but it's not coming in because you have not you've blocked it, you have not allowed it in, and it's just a simple energy shift. So we're activating the divine love, I'm calling that. We're doing deep energy detox, we're doing clearing the barriers to success and abundance. We are doing stepping into your 5th dimensional energy field, which sounds really woo-woo, but it actually isn't. It's about shedding that old belief system that's holding you back. So I'm really excited about this because this isn't just a transformation program, as in you're learning the skills, you're also getting the healing, and you're getting lots of one-on-one, because I'm going to make sure I'm working with the people in the group, and I'm looking at their energy while I'm working with them. So you're getting information and content that you can use in your own practice, in your own life, daily spiritual practice, but also stuff that if you work with clients, you can pass on to them and you can teach them. I'm fed up of seeing empaths, energy healers, energy sensitive people, light workers, anyone who is empathic, suffering and struggling with their energy. And when we suffer and struggle with our energy, we suffer and struggle with our money, because you can't separate anything in your life. We talk about holistic, we talk about vibration, we talk about energy, we talk about mindset, but what you don't realize, the deep inextricable link between you, your energy, and I'm not just talking about your vibration, as in I'm thinking positive today, so my vibration is high. I'm talking about the actual movement of your energy field, your energy, and everything else in your life, your love life, your finances, your career, your health, how you feel on the inside. All of that is linked to your energy field, and all of that, when you learn how to change it, will change, because you will learn how to stop giving it all away so that it can come back in and make you feel better and make you feel more in control and empowered, I'd say. Okay, so is there any questions? I've been on here way longer than I wanted to. I'm going to go off and do a little bit of yoga before I start my day today. How are we all feeling with the full moon? I can't see comments again for some reason. Facebook isn't giving me them. I've just got a whole blank. Maybe if I write a comment, it might show. Yeah, look at that. Hi, Rosie. Thanks. No, I shouldn't have to explain myself. It's a good. It's a good. When someone says something like that, it's a good way of recognizing the belief systems that are out there, and it's also a good way to say, okay, is this mirroring me in some way? So, and for me, it's an opportunity to talk about investment and money and abundance when it comes to this stuff, because lots of people, people have said to me, I really want to do your course, but I don't want to spend the money. And I'm like, well, so I mean, in a way, it's actually, I don't know if she's here. A beautiful lady wrote to me about a month ago, and she said to me, I feel really bad that you give so much away on your pages. You're always doing your free videos, you're doing free stuff all the time. And I feel like I'm in energetic debt to you. And yet I can't afford to do your course. So I feel bad. Can you put a pay it forward button on your website? Can you do a donation to charity button? Or can you, or just a donation for you? And I had to think about it. And it's come up before. And I thought, yeah, I am doing a lot, which is free. I'm giving away a lot of information, my newsletter, my video, things like the Empaths Free Masterclass. But, that's also what draws people to me. So in a way, I am getting payment, if you like. But if people feel in energetic debt to me, that's not a good thing. I'm like, okay, is there something going on here? So how do we think about it? But and then I would say that to anyone who feels that way. Just go to my website and buy one of the cheaper items. I've got meditations on there for $9.95 Australian, which at the moment is, the Australian dollar is so low that there's one lady doing my course from England, which my course is $1,997 Australian dollars, nearly 2,000. She's getting it for 1,000 British pounds because the Australian dollar is so low. And it's the same in America. I think you get it for about 1,300 American. So it's, at the moment, it's really cheap. So if you want to go and buy a book or a meditation on my website, that's a cheap way of saying thank you, Rachel. If that's what you want to do, I don't need you to do that. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying, this lady wrote me a very sincere email, and she said, I feel like I've got to pull away from your page. And I was like, please don't. Like, I love having people here. It's weird. For me, it's so weird if no one pops onto the videos or is liking my stuff. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? So the energetic exchange is that you are you're giving to me in a way of appreciation, support, telling your friends and stuff like that. So Kim says, I find this is one of the few fields people expect it to be free. Yeah. And look, I agree. Surgeons are gifted and no one expects that. And no one, if you say go to Coles or the petrol station or go and buy a pair of new shoes and say, oh, I'm gifted, do you think I could have them for nothing? They would throw you out of the shop. Like, I still have to pay my bills, even if I am doing spiritual work. And I don't want to live in poverty. Thanks very much. So, and if we live in poverty and struggle, something happens. I hated it when I didn't have much money. Like in the beginning, I hated that feeling that I couldn't go and get my nails done. I couldn't have a haircut. I was feeding my horses, my dog, I hated that feeling that, oh shit, how much money have I got? I don't think I've got enough to get petrol in the car or something. It's a horrible feeling. It's the worst feeling on the earth. And it's a bad feeling as well because it's not natural. We're not meant to feel like that. Nature is abundant. The animals go out, they don't go, oh, there's not enough unless there's a drought or something. But it's the way it's set up. It's abundance. We're meant to be able to, and the more money I have and you have, we can give to local and global people that are also in business. So we're contributing to the economy. When you're broke, you feel drained. You have to ask people for favors. You have to ask people, I used to put all my horse feed on tick at the local stock agency, the little shop near me. And, it would build up to $200 and I'd go and pay it. But it's a horrible feeling because you feel needy and the energy isn't right. So you've got to do something about that. And there is something that you can do. There always is something that you can do. It's an energy thing. So yeah, I think, Kim, that people think spiritual stuff should be free because it's a past life hangover. I think in past lives it was free because we would barter, or we've come from lifetimes where money wasn't a thing. And so, maybe in indigenous tribes, money wasn't a thing. So you didn't have to deal with it. It was there, but there were other things that were traded. There was art and instruments and weapons for hunting. So people still traded. They just didn't use money. There's so much guilt around money, and we shouldn't buy into it at all. But when I saw that message this morning, I just thought I'm going to answer it because I think people need to know that they can't bully you with that kind of stuff. They need to know, and they need to come back into the real world and say, okay, how much did it cost her to put that course on? How's she doing in her life? Instead of criticizing and judging. And it makes a good subject for a video anyway. So books, Jenny, what do you mean? Do you mean what kind of books? Spiritual books, or I don't know what you mean. At this moment in time, I can't think of any books at all. I'm completely blank. I always liked Dr. Wayne Dyer's books. They're one of my favorites. I'm reading a book at the moment called The Surrender Experiment with Dr. Michael Singer, which is an awesome book about surrendering, and it's a very, I think that you'd benefit from that one, Jenny. I've actually got it on audio, so I don't know if you can get it. Natalie says, I tell people if you're not paying for my class, you're paying for my 40 plus years of learning and experience. Exactly. Yeah. I think there's a welfare mentality in the world. And this welfare mentality is, with some people, is that they should get everything for nothing. And it's their abundance issue. They've got to heal that. That's their stuff that they have to heal, but they want to project it onto, Natalie has a dance school, and they want to project it onto Natalie or onto me or onto Kim. They want to project that their fear onto you and make you wrong because they can't work it out. Yeah, you've spent tens of thousands of dollars on your training. So yeah, I know, and so have I. And you spend you spend a lot of money on all the other background stuff that you do too, Natalie. And you're always, you're a very busy woman, and you care so much about your students, as I do with my clients. You care. You're not just there sort of, where's the money? They're blaming you because they can't afford your fees. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so people have to go, okay, what do I do? If I can't afford this, what do I want to do about it? But instead of taking responsibility, they blame. That's it, and it's wrong, and we need to cut the cord and let it go completely. So yeah, Kim, we pay for room, rent, supplies, petrol, food, years of study. My Uluru retreat, which has gone up to 3 days this year, and the Voyages where I hold it, which is the most beautiful place at Uluru at Ayers Rock Resort, has put up their prices considerably this year. So I'm having to put my prices up this year, but it's a 3-day workshop. But last year, just the costs alone of me running that workshop was almost $9,000. And yet so many people were like, ooh, it's so expensive to come on your retreat. Well, yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit more expensive. It's not completely. Yeah, so the shift needs to come from within, and it's all part of their process, but they need to be willing to do the work. That's right. And so we need to also remember that and push it back on them. Yeah, because, there's that meme that's going around that says people who are more successful than you won't criticize. But people who aren't are the first ones to tell you that you're doing the wrong thing. And we don't serve anyone. I'll leave you with this. No one serves anyone from a place of brokenness, from a place of poverty, from a place of, struggle. We can't serve people from that place. We're not contributing. If we've got it within us and we're in the space to be able to change our circumstances, we should be doing that, because it's not just about the money. It's about life and energy. Everything comes back to energy. Okay, my lovelies. Lots of love and blessings. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my words. And if you're interested in the Empaths program, as I said, I've only got 5 days left before it starts. And I'm taking discovery calls. So if you want a 15-minute chat with me about it, then please let me know. I'll put the link up on this video where you can just book in a 15-minute chat to find out if it's right for you, and also what the payment plan is. And the payment plan is very easy and generous. So if you feel like you need that, you can come and talk to me about it. Angel blessings. Have a great day. Bye.